All right, guys. Yes, you read the title right. I had a handgun, specifically a Glock, shipped to my door, no paperwork, and private sale. So, how did this happen? How is this legal? How can that be done? Well, I live in a free state, and the state I live in is Ohio. And in Ohio, under the law, now a lot of guys read the law and they interpret it different ways, but it is perfectly legal to ship a gun from private individual to a private individual in Ohio, but but you cannot ship it United States Postal Service. You'd have to use a secondary like UPS. And that's how this Glock 27 came to me. This was back in 2008. It was a guy on one of the forums, and he was well known on the forums, and they had a rating system on the forum where you could leave feedback for people. So this guy was in the same state, like I said, as me. He was in Ohio, but he was about 3 to 3.5 hour drive away. And he had several good feedback. He always had activity going on the forum. In fact, he worked at a gun store, and a lot of people on the forum that he was on, I think it was on Glock Talk, they knew this guy. So I really didn't have any I seen him all the time, posting, selling. I really had no problem doing the deal. That's probably going to be you guys' first question is like, well, why would you even do this? How could you trust him? Well, the reason I could trust him is because, like I said, he had so much feedback. So many people knew him. He worked at a gun store. A lot of people talked about that lived in his area, how they had been in the gun store where he works and different things, and they knew him, and there was no issue there. So he basically put in his ad on there for the G27 that he would ship. And I think he put in Ohio, he would ship it face to face because it's legal. So he would do that. Now, most guys will not ship a gun to a private individual, with a secondary like UPS, or ship at all because they're too nervous about it, worried about it, or what could happen, and things like that. And they just won't do it. It is rare, and I understand that. I get it. But if you're on one of these forums and a lot of the guys know each other and there's a feedback system, I don't really see a problem with it. I've never shipped one. I've never done that. I've never shipped a gun to another guy in Ohio. It's just for me. It's just too. I would rather just drive and meet somebody than do that. But this was kind of cool to have this gun shipped to me. Now it was a Glock 27. And it was a fairly good deal. I can't remember the price I paid at the time, but it was a decent deal. And I think I paid him $15 for the UPS shipping. Like I said, you cannot go United States Postal Service shipping. No way, no how. That is a crime. But to ship from Ohio to a private party is legal, okay? But like I said, most guys will not do it. They're too nervous, too scared, whatever, afraid something's going to happen. And there is, the law, you can look it up here, and you can read the different, ways that it's spelled out and things like that. But it was very cool. I up one day, I'm at the house, and all of a sudden I get a couple knocks on the door. I open it. There's the UPS guy back in the truck taking off, and on the front, I didn't live in the house I live in now. It was another house, but in the front, on the concrete, on the top of the stairs on the concrete is sitting a box from UPS, and I bring in this box and I unbox my new Glock 27 right there, delivered to my door. So cool. Yeah, it'll probably never happen again, I would imagine, because like I said, I have to know who the person is. I'd have to know pretty well who they are, like I did him. He was very active on that forum, and I would have been very surprised if he would have ever done anybody wrong with his reputation on there. But that's it, guys. Thought you might like to hear that story. Had a Glock 27 delivered straight to my door, no paperwork. And guys, just so you know anyway, a private face-to-face transaction in Ohio, when you meet somebody, there's no paperwork. There is no registration in Ohio. People often always get this wrong and say, oh, is that gun registered? Or if I buy a gun used, do I have to register it? Look it up. There is no registration in Ohio. None whatsoever. There's never been registration of guns in Ohio. You can meet somebody and buy a gun face to face, or if you got enough if you got enough guts, you can ship it to them. And I'm not recommending anybody to do that. Like I said, you want to know both. You want to know both parties. If you were to ever do that, even though it's legal. All right, guys, I'll talk to you next time. Until then, this is DOF, and I am out.